Hey everybody, this is Benny, and today we are on Prometheus, or we're on our way down to Prometheus, and the point of this expedition is red exotics. Now, I was working on a mission specifically for farming red exotics, and I was hoping I could find a way to do it the same way I've done it before with purple exotics. It's just not going to happen. You need to be tiered up in order to really get what you need for red exotics. Now, the easiest way is going to be to actually farm the strange plants at first before you can tier up to tier 4 and be able to extract from the larger nodes. So, what my plan is for this series is we're going to drop down to Prometheus. We're in easy mode because we're not too concerned about doing the missions specifically, but about getting down here, setting up a base, and then using that base to, first of all, farm strange plants, and then when we get high enough, we're going to get into the lava biome, and we're going to extract from the larger nodes. I want to take a moment here to thank my channel members. Your support means a lot to me. It really does, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. So let me show you what I've got here. This is the equipment I brought with me down in the initial drop. I should have filled these up first, but that's fine. They'll be fine for now. They'll last me until I get an orbital exchange interface put up. So I've got some coffee with cream. We've got the Larkwell Martinez oxygen tank. We've got a backpack, just the basic one. We've got 4 pieces of the nano armor, a campfire, furnace, a sickle, a good sickle that we can get seeds with, the Naris knife, pickaxe, and axe, a dropship recall beacon, and a bow. Now, the reason I wanted that dropship recall beacon right off the bat here is because we're going to go and we're going to run a circuit around and we're going to see if we can't find some strange plant locations, because they don't appear in every location every time. In fact, they could appear in every location or they could appear in none of the locations. What I want to do is make sure that there's at least 1 or 2 of those plant locations within range, within a quick run range of my base, or the place where I intend to put my base. If they're not, I'm going to recall back to this dropship, get out of here, and I'm going to repeat this. So that's the reason I've got that dropship recall beacon. Okay, now I'm going to rearrange these things because I don't like this order. All right, there we go. This is how I like my setup to be. And one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to get some arrows going before we end up in trouble. I'm going to grab some basic resources, fiber, that kind of thing. And then we're going to go ahead and take a look at the map. Where did we end up at? All right, it's not bad. I prefer to be closer to this plateau when I drop my dropship just because it's easier. But we got a couple spots we're going to check for strange plants. One of them's going to be up here on this plateau. I'm going to check here. And then there's a spot over in here, but that's kind of difficult. It's a hard run from here. So what I'd like to see is one either here or here. And then if that doesn't work, we're going to head this way. And then this island, and maybe up in here, there's another one. So I don't know what happened to my fog of war. Just, everything seems to have kind of reset for some reason. All right, so what we're going to do now is, this is kind of a pain in the butt to get up here, so we're just going to go ahead and check this one first. If that works out, we're going to have our base somewhere over in here. Otherwise, the base is going to be up in here, which does give us access to a cave here and here. All right, go. Let's get some arrows. Something on me already? Thanks for the resources, bud. Nice. I'm not going to trash those arrows to make bone arrows right away. It doesn't make that big a difference with a good bow. But I will replace these stone arrows with bone arrows as we get to that point. What I like to do is just mark where I know there's an approximate location. All right, here's some tomatoes. One of the first vegetables you're going to find in this area. They're pretty frequent. surprised the other one didn't come running when I build this one. All right. Give me that bacon. If they're twitching like this, sometimes you can't until their body stops moving. You can't actually get interface pop up for your knife. So if you're having trouble with that, that could be it. It does seem to happen more often now than it used to. So I'm not sure what's going on. And we're going to go ahead and grab some corn too. Apparently, I should be using my sickle, so I'm getting seeds. And at least I can grow some food. Alright, I should be getting closer to the spot I'm looking for. I might have to grab some trees and cook some food. But first, we're going to go over and look and see if there's a strange plant over here. Should be up in this area somewhere. I don't see the strange plant. I thought it was like close to this spot here that we're at. But up here. Yeah. I think I've got it marked pretty close to where it spawns. If I'm wrong about this, somebody let me know down in the comments. Maybe I'm wrong about this one. But not seeing it at the moment. What I'm going to do is grab some wood. For you new players, no, this is not a mod to collect the wood. It's just one. It's in the skill tree, and it's one of my favorites because I use a lot of wood, and I'm really too impatient to sit there and chop it all up manually. So, is it worth the skill point? Yeah, that depends on you. All right. So we're going to go ahead and assume that there is no strange plant in this area. I'm going to go ahead and decide whether I'm going to go back down to the plateau here, or I could make the loop that would be coming up here and grabbing this, and then go on and check that island, and then the further one. So I think we're going to head to this plateau. And that usually spawns in... You know what, I'm actually going to check the map. So I am off camera here. I have Icarus Intel up on a different monitor. And I'm going to go ahead and look exactly where that positioning is for here. We can get pretty close. Now, the map, Icarus Intel map might not be exact either. Plus, it's a little outdated when it comes to Prometheus. There was actually an update for it not long ago, which is nice. It's actually started updating again. It hadn't for the longest time. If you haven't used it in a long time because it wasn't even up to date, then I'd suggest giving it another try. All right, I've decided I really need I need the stamina. So I'm going to have to go ahead and place down my campfire. Get some food going here. Now these tomatoes are real quick to cook. Bacon and fatty T-bone, not so much. Now the reason I picked this suit is because it does have a food slot. So if you're going to do something lazy, like farming, where you just want to leave, like sit yourself down in a seat or on a bench, looking over a nice view, and then walk away for a while and come back and check on your crops and that kind of thing. That's the kind of suit you want. You want the kind where you can throw some food in here, especially some good dried meats or something like that. Keep you fed while you're AFK. And just like that, we're going to drop a few of those in there. Now, while I'm waiting for this campfire to cook up all my delicious food, what I am going to do is check and see what I've got here, and I'm going to craft what we need to get up to that plateau, which is going to be about 12 ladders, 12, 13 ladders. That going. And then we're going to need a platform. Go ahead and get at least a couple of these going. I'm guessing we don't have the materials for that. We're going to see what it looks like after our ladders are complete. All right. We consume that. We're going to wait for one more of those so that we have it on us. Hey, buddy. I really don't need extra materials at the moment. Now, if I wait around too long, he will obviously generate some friends to come and check him out and eat him. something to come along to eat them. So we don't want to be here when that happens. We're going to go ahead and take off. All right, so I've come across some coal. We're going to grab some coal. It's going to help with the furnace if we need it. And I saw over here that I see sulfur. Oh, there it is. I'll grab some sulfur, just a little bit, and that should be able to make me these. Just a good torch. Now, when you're running from that, from up there to over here, this is usually your best spot to come across. And the problem with that, though, is that this is kind of a tricky spot to build a bridge, only because you're going to run into a stability issue really quick. You can see that's already on yellow. So anything we put up here would start to crack right away. There we go. So now I got my grid, and I'm snapped here. But I want to go ahead and put it over there. By doing that, I've actually grabbed the ground here, and it's now anchored at both points. If I tried to build this section right here without building this one first that's touching the ground, then this would break because there wouldn't be enough stability there. So there we go, bridge. Now there's a spot over here. It's right past here. There's a cave. You see the cave? And this is actually a halfway decent spot because the cliff is fairly flat. There's, yes, also a hole from underneath in the cliff right there. Don't worry, you can't fall through it right there. All right, so we're going to come ahead here and start with our ladder. And the place you want your ladder is out away from the cliff enough to where you don't run into the cliff. It can be a little tricky. And you can only build so far before it's out of range. So then what you want to do is you want to come up here, climb on the ladder. But don't let yourself get all the way to the top or you'll climb up over the top. And that's kind of fun. You want to use the wooden ladder, not the thatch ladder because of height. I believe. Yeah, see, that's the max. Well, maybe it's the same because it seems to be about the same as last time I did this. All right, so now I am going to go ahead and get my wood floor going. And I'm going to go ahead and walk to the top. Once I walk to the top, you see I've like stood on top of the ladder. It's not a position you want to be in. I'm going to go ahead and build a platform like this. I'm going to grab one of my last ladders. I'm going to deploy it on the platform. So, and now from here, I can go ahead and hit F to jump over to that ladder. And then if we've done this right, we should be able to leap off of here. But you know what? I don't trust that. So now I'm going to grab that extra ramp I built and be able to flip it. Well, this can be tricky sometimes, and you might need to hit the end key to reset it. And then if you hit the end key, you can also move this down with page down. You don't see it over on the side there, but it is page down. You can sink this down in. And we're going to go ahead, and you want to make sure that you're not actually, oh, I snapped to my ladder again. There we go. I'm going to bring it down again a little bit. I don't want this to overlap the ladder, or I'll have to remove it later, but it's really not that big a deal. So then I'm going to go ahead and place this. That was a good placement. And now we can just go ahead and jump off the ladder. All right. Make sure he's not in my way. And we do have a deep ore vein one up here. This is obsidian. Kind of cool. So there is a purple exotic that can spawn up here, and there is a strange plant spawn up here. The strange plant location, I think I had that marked, but I don't, again, we don't know. Oh, there's our strange plant, and that's what we're looking for. That means I think I've found the space where I'm going to build the base, and that's up here on this plateau. And I'll need a nice ladder system to go down, but we do have some resources up here. There's caves on either side of the plateau. And if I look on the plateau, we've got a cave like right up in here, I think, somewhere. Right here. And the other one is right like up in here. So we can have platforms going down to both those caves, and that's going to get us started on getting metals and all that stuff. I want this to respawn on the 3-hour mark. I don't think that's going to be an issue because I think I'm going to be able to just leave it here and then just harvest it when I need it. But you want to get it before that 3-hour mark is up so that it has a chance to respawn. So let's get started on a base. Now obviously we're going to be doing wood base first. We're going to go ahead and just chop up a whole bunch of wood. We're going to keep this as simple as possible. We're also going to do the old makeshift lightning rod, which is going to be just a poles, and they got to be pretty tall. I'm going to try to figure out where on here I want to build. I think I want to be like right at the cliff. Okay, so I think I'm going to build that base on this side here. Where I am right here. Strange plant. I'm going to build it right here, and I'm going to do that because I already have this ladder system here, and the cave is right below it. So I think I want my base to be right here. I will redo this whole thing to make it nice. But for now, we're going to go ahead and just start building our base right here. One of the first things I want to do is to, I see a couple of storms coming up, and I want to make sure I'm not burned down right away. We are going to make sure we have a fire whacker just in case. Fire whacker, good idea. And then we're going to go ahead and craft poles. I'm going to have to go get some fiber while that's going. Oh, look, fiber. Now, if you want fiber and you have a sickle, the sickle will give you much more fiber than just picking it by hand. Plus the seeds, which you can use for other stuff later. Is that everything? Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take my poles and deploy them near where I'm going to put my base. So I think I'm going to put my base basically right here on this flat spot. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my makeshift lightning rod right here. And I'm going to move that later, but for now, tallest. Now, this doesn't work every time, but it does work. And I've used it enough times to be sure of that. So give it a shot. It needs to be, fairly close to the base, and it should help you protect your early base from starting on fire before you manage to upgrade that to stone. I'm going to go ahead and go with a general box design, but one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to deploy my deployables here so that they are not taking up spot in my inventory. Looks like about it for the moment. Now I'm going to come in here to fire, and I'm going to go ahead and fire this up. I'm going to save the coal for the smelter. I'm going to go ahead and throw some wood in here, stakes. We can store this charcoal in here for now. I know there's not much space in there for that kind of thing, but it'll be fine. We're going to leave those tomatoes out for the moment, and instead we're going to go ahead and build a drying rack. So we're taking care of all our food needs right away, just getting that out of the way. I am going to destroy this other ladder. We don't need that. Now that that's complete, we're going to go ahead and put up our drying rack. I will rearrange this stuff later on to make more sense, but for now, we're just going to go ahead and, I don't think you can dry bacon. We're going to go ahead and dry our tomatoes. And those will be nice and they'll last a long time. Eat the bacon. And I'm going to actually pull maybe about half of these out of here. And we're going to pull about half of these out. We're going to cook up about half, and we're going to do... I left that rotten meat in there, it would turn into charcoal, but we don't really need that. That requires shelter, so we'll get there. Okay, so we got our drying rack. We're going to go ahead and throw in some meats. Hey, buddy. They will keep spawning up here, so just because you're all alone doesn't mean you're actually safe. So, Right. I'm going to get rid of this one because it's close to where I'm working. Now, if I get rid of everything there, and you see I've collected everything, the skeleton's still here, and you can still see the attracts predators modifier. It's kind of just a glitch. The skeletons themselves will not attract more predators. In fact, if you look away and look back, you'll see that it's gone. So Keep that in mind. You can leave a skeleton laying there. It's fine. It'll despawn in a little bit. I don't need it. Over here, and I'm going to drop his meats onto the... Oop! What am I doing? I'm going to drop his meats onto the dehydrator. That's what we got for meat. Bacon. We're going to come over here and... Wrong one. Now I am going to make sure... No, I'm going to get rid... I'm going to dry all of those. I'm going to cook the bacon. Same thing with this. We're just going to do it like... Alright, because these are dryable. And I want to do that. Do this. Sort that out. So we've already got some dried tomato here, and you can see the stats on that. We got health regeneration, food consumption, maximum stamina. They're not the best, but they're cheap and easy to find. We're going to go ahead and just start putting a building together. So the first thing I want to do is... Now, I do like building on foundation. For this first step, I'm not going to do that. I'm actually just going to build a house on stilts. So I'm going to go with 8 of these. That's overkill, but that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to go with a flat roof at first. So we're just going to go 2 square house. I'm going to fire those up. And then we're going to need... I always make sure I use wood instead of thatch. Sometimes I mean, they kind of look similar, so sometimes I grab the wrong one. We're going to... let's worry about doors yet. And... wood wall. All these things look like they're from the rough side, and I always see this wood wall. It's like I can't see it because it's the interior shot, so the exterior shot. All right, so we're going to need 6 walls, and that means we're going to need wood again. Ooh, watch out for that concussion. I don't need a concussion. I want one. All right, we got some wood. Let's get back over. Okay, so my temporary shelter, my hut that I'm going to build first, is going to just be right here in the spot. So I'm going to go ahead and play these first. And I want to find a spot where they're up out of the ground. So again, you can use page up and page down. And now you can see it's poking up a little bit. That'll be good. Once you place the first one, you get snap off the second. Well, rotation's not exactly where I wanted it, but that's fine. All right, so this is one square and 2 square. And there. So now I have enough, definitely enough support for a simple building. That's just not a, that's just a bird, maybe the same bird. All right, now I'm going to come in here, I'm going to grab my floors. And I'm going to deploy those like so. And that's plenty of structural integrity. You can put a center one in there if you want, but... And it does bother me that they're... See if I can get the floor going. Why can I not get my floor going the same direction? Hit the R button. Usually they kind of snap that way. Anyway. Alright, so I got my 2 floors out. And then I'm going to just do walls around these, and then a flat ceiling. So we're going to go ahead and grab our walls. We want 6 walls. And deploy as they're coming out. So windows, no windows, whatever you want to do. But like I said, this is not permanent because I want to put down foundations before I start building a permanent base. We're just going to go ahead and throw these up. I'm going slow because I'm waiting for them to finish building, which they are now. And I'm going to hold R to give me my designs, and we're going to put a doorway in. Go ahead and throw up my ceiling pieces. Here we go. And let's build a door. Oh, I got a fiber. Right. Go. Good. Now we got some fiber. Create a door. And there we go. Shelter complete. All right, now the next important thing we need in the shelter is a crafting bench. Now, because I didn't make any windows, I don't have to put since I didn't make window holes, I don't have to put windows in. If you make a window hole in these walls, you're going to have to come in here and build these wood window pieces. If you do not, weather can get through. Now, it doesn't matter if that window's open or not. It just matters if there's one in the slots. You can leave it open and not have to worry about it, your stuff breaking. I've tested this thoroughly. So, now in a future video, maybe that's changed, and I apologize. That's false information for you. But at the time this video is made, open windows, closed windows, it don't matter. Okay. Let's see if that's finished yet. It is. And we're going to go ahead and place that. Boom. What we're aiming to do next is build our orbital exchange interface. Right there. So we're going to need rope, we're going to need iron ingots and copper, and that's why we're going to be going down to that cave shortly. Now, I am going to dump off, let's go ahead and sort this. We're going to leave a few things behind that we don't need. I'm going to go ahead and craft some bone arrows in here, so I'm not going to take all of that out. I'm going to leave some of that. All right, so I think that'll do. I've made enough space. Now we can go down and we can get more stuff, but I am going to go ahead and switch to bone arrows. Now, spears are great, javelins actually. Javelins are a great weapon early on as well. There's a bone javelin. They do a massive amount of damage. They're 202 to 225. Their range is not good. So that's why I tend to use the bow. Plus, I do enough damage with it that I'm not too concerned. But when you're new at the game, try out javelins. They're a great option as well. Even the wood javelins are pretty killer. Okay, and that comes under spears, by the way. If you're going to unlock one, you want to unlock spears. When you unlock spears, that'll unlock your javelins. All right, we're going to go to bone arrows. Get distracted here. All right. Now, I don't like doing things in the dark just because it's harder for you guys to see. And I'm not going to worry about torch and stuff. But I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. So I need to stand back here. And I'm going to go ahead and dismantle that platform. I'm doing that because it was blocking the ladder. So now if I turn around and I face through my own backpack, I can go ahead and jump on the ladder. And now, yeah, if you miss the ladder and you start to fall, just go ahead and try to catch it. You can catch it by hitting F. I'm going to climb back down. And our cave is right down here, but I want to look at... Switch to... The default key is C. We'll switch you to the third person point of view, and you can use that to make sure you're not dropping down onto something more dangerous than a bird. Now we're going into a cave, so we want to be equipped with a ranged weapon. I had one wooden arrow on me, probably. Yeah. There's also water in caves a lot of times, so that's nice. You've got a water source. It is dirty. All right, that's far enough back right now. I don't need to clear any more worms. Worms just keep recycling. Is there another one? Oh, way back there. Worms keep regenerating anyway, so... if you're not going to go way back in there, there's no reason to keep clearing them. Now, cave sickness, a note about cave sickness. We're going to go in here, and you'll notice I have the underground debuff. The underground debuff will become the worst, will become the worst debuff, the pneumonia, or whatever they call it, cave. This one's underground, yeah, you'll get cave sickness, is the other one. Now, the longer you have the first debuff, the more likely you are to get the second debuff. You're not supposed to be able to get it right away. And generally I find that if I'm only in here for maybe 5 minutes, then I won't get the cave sickness. Take my arrows, but I'm not worried about the other stuff right now. Okay, so I've got copper. Yeah, I got plenty of copper, plenty of iron. We're going to go ahead and smelt that stuff up so we can build the orbital exchange interface. And things are going to go from there. Go ahead and grab the MXC furnace here. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and put that in my base. Needs to have shelter. Yep. And I'm going to do one, and then we'll smelt up the other ones. The reason I do that is because I want them, it'll go in order from left to right, and I want to make sure I'm getting those ingots, both types, so that when I come back from my little AFK I'm about to take here, I'll have both types of ingots ready to go. Now, the furnace does make heat now. You'll notice my heat going up the closer I get to it. It didn't used to, so watch out for heat stroke if you're standing too close to these things. All right, so see what we got here. We've got a bunch of dried tomatoes now. I'm going to go ahead and throw those in my inventory. And since these things last 1.4 hours each, that's real world time of while you're playing, this is a perfect thing to put into your passive food slot because you can set it in there and forget it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put myself in here. I'm going to wait for the furnace to finish up, so I'm going to go ahead and stealth out so I don't draw any animals to my base. And I'll be right back. All right, let's see where we're at right now. Got some ingots. Got all our ingots. So we're going to grab these. And then we're going to go ahead and drop those right into the workbench. Now we should be able to, what do we miss? Oh, rope. I should have had that rope going while we were gone, but I did not. We don't need that much rope. Then we're going to make a little extra rope just so we have it laying around. I'll take a look outside my tent. Yeah. Nice out. It's afternoon. Okay. Go ahead and take a look at what we got here. Yeah, a lot of it's been turned into charcoal, but that's fine. That's all fine. We got a huge pile of bacon here. That's all good. I like keeping my bacon. Just while I'm working and stuff, I keep that energy up. And we got a bunch of dried meat going on in here. This is great stuff. It'll last a long time. Dried fatty T-bone. We got maximum health. Yield from butchering and consumption. Not all that useful to me. I like have stamina and stamina regeneration, but take what you can get. It's early on. Later on, we'll be toting around some alcohol, and that'll take care of the stamina regeneration, as it does. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab a stack of this jerky. This is also a good thing to just throw into the slot here. All right, so what we want to do now is go in here and what that torch is almost burnt out because I was sitting there with it on. I'll light it up in here for you guys. And there we go. We got that going on here. I'm going to go ahead and craft an orbital exchange interface. Okay, this is going to start opening things up for us here. Go ahead and deploy this. Go. A little stealthed. All right. Now we go ahead and request some more equipment. And what I'm going to request here is these crop plots, because I'm going to use these for growing that strange plant. What else do we need here? We could get some 9mm and a revolver if we wanted to upgrade. I got some packaged arrows. You know what? I'm just going to use these up. So we're going to bring those down. Here's our bed. I'm going to bring a bed down. And I could bring a storage crate. But just using workbenches is going to be okay for now. Later on, I'll want more organization. I used to use these a lot. I don't use them so much anymore. I don't see anything else I need at this moment. Other than I think I'm going to bring down my mount. And yeah, that's a chicken. Here we go. We'll bring our mount and we'll bring Arthur down. Those two will keep the front of the base here clear. What do we got here? Green tea, hot coffee, coffee. There's some coffee, another coffee with cream. We'll bring one of those down too. And I might as well have a... okay. Kicked me out. All right. So we're going to, let's see, crop plots, shovel, which I actually was forgetting anyway. We're going to bring down a Sure, we'll take down the miner's module and oxygen tank. Coffee. Not a good oxygen tank, but I think I have another other one. One of the other one's full right now. And arrows, bed. What else did I have on here before it screwed me over? Oh yeah, and these two here. I'm gonna request. Here's my pod, and hey, look at that! It landed on the plateau. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure these guys are set to follow. He is. And so are you. We're going to keep him on defensive. We don't want him just chasing stuff. And he's going to set on aggressive. Okay. Good enough. Come in here. No, don't do that. Be like, once you hit the button, it goes. So now I got to pick that stuff back up. We'll just run over here and let our animals catch up. Now they're stuck at the moment, but they'll get loose. All right, we're going to request equipment again and go ahead and grab this stuff. I'm trying to walk away enough to get these guys to teleport. Oh, it did open up by the base. They should teleport to me at some point. You know what, we'll just go over here and we'll grab that strange plant now. We've got some food plots coming down. And then hopefully by the time I get over there, they will have broken free. Sometimes you have to quit and reload. It's kind of annoying. Alright, here's our strange plant. I was supposed to use the sickle on that, wasn't I? I don't know if it makes a difference, but... Okay, so we can grow 2 more, and we did get some raw exotics. So we're going to go ahead and plant 2 more. I bet the sickle does make a difference, and I just was not thinking straight when I did that. For reason I brought the sickle down, but what you going to do? And they have still not broken loose. It's kind of it is a completely annoying bug about these animals getting stuck like this. It's really annoying. All right, I'm going to put these guys on wander and see if maybe they'll break free from that. Yeah, can you wander? Can't wander, can you? All right. Yeah, I'm going to try reloading those guys in a minute here. So first I'm going to go ahead and grab my pod, and we're going to... See, I'm used to there being a take all button here, and that's what's going on. All right, did that. And now I am going to go ahead and jump out and back in. If I can't get these to reset. We got 8 seconds ago on the load. Always check there, make sure you're not losing anything by doing what I'm doing here. I'm going to return to character select. Back in a minute. And there we're moving. Now we're unstuck. All right, just need to reload. All right, so here we are. What? Dogs, I tell you. All right, so now we got to head over here, and one of the things I'm going to have to do in order to make Rongo here rideable is to get him a saddle. So let's go ahead, and we're going to need a ranching station to take care of these guys. I'm going to go ahead and knock that out quick. And I'm going to need more rope and some iron nails. Now, in order to get the iron nails, I'm going to need an anvil, and I do not have enough materials for an anvil. I think I need 40 for the... I do. I need 40 iron ingots. So we're going to need more iron. Okay, well, then let's get on to the next step instead. You guys can go ahead and come over this way. Now, the spot where you set them to wander is going to be like kind of the center of their radius. So I do not want them right in my face in the front door here. So we're going to go ahead and... actually, we're going to set him to stay. It'll be fine right there. We're going to set Arthur here to wander. So he's going to kind of patrol the area, and he should take care of any of the bad things that could pop up and head over here, like that boar over there. And that should keep us fairly safe. Keep Rongo fairly safe, although Rongo can defend himself now. Once you get a few levels on these guys and you can take the ability to attack, go ahead and take the ability to attack. I'd still keep them on defensive so they're not chasing out and causing trouble, but at least they can defend themselves when it happens. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get this prop plots out. Just kind of slapping them down for now. Again, we're going to reorganize real soon. Really, well, as soon as we can get stone construction going, we're going to take care of that stuff real soon. So the first thing I'm going to do here, now that we got these, is we're going to go ahead and think I can just put these in the ground, right? We don't have to do anything special. We do not. Go ahead. We're going to go ahead and plant 2 of those. I wonder if hovering above the crop plot is normal. I don't know if I need to fertilize these or anything like that. Let's see. What are we missing for that one? Just some spoiled plants. Well, I should have spoiled plants. Sorry about the darkness in there. I really need to get some lighting going. All right, so looks like we're going to be slow going as far as spoiled plants. I should have saved some earlier. I always regret that I don't. Oh, there we go. There should be enough spoiled plants, right? Oh, there it is. Composter. All right, I'm going to craft a composter. We will be using that for fertilizer for gunpowder as well at some point. So we're going to go ahead and apply that. We're just going to keep it over here. I know this is, again, a mess. I get it. But it's all going to be good at some point. Go ahead and put that in there. I usually keep my shovel in here. I don't have enough rotten plants right now to matter. I do keep my rotten meat in here. It does not. You don't make. Last I checked, yeah. Okay, here's the recipes right here. So spoiled plants or guano, I think. Yeah. So that's what makes fertilizer. I'm just storing that rotten meat in there, and some more over here. We have plenty of these tomatoes going on. I'm not going to make any more right now, so we're going to come over here and drop these in here. Now, if you need compost something really fast, and you notice this is how fast this composts while it's in here. It's ticking down real fast, right? One trick you can do. Oh, that was the wrong button. One trick is to, if you hold Shift and move, you'll split the stack, and we can go ahead and spread these out. So if you're in a hurry, get your spoiled plants or spoiled meat. You can also spoil meat in there. You can just do it like this, and you'll notice they're all counting down at the same time instead of just counting down one off the top of the stack. So instead, they're all going to get to the same point, and boom, a bunch of spoiled plants. We can make fertilizer. What do we need? 10? Okay, so we can make 1 fertilizer right now. We're going to go ahead and get the shovel down here. I notice I've got resources in my hotbar. I always forget that they're there when that happens. And we're just going to go ahead and we're just going to go ahead and grab some dirt. Does use a lot of stamina getting dirt, but it's fine with a good shovel. Like this is the one you get off the station. Obviously, you saw me bring it down, but this is a great way to do it. I'm going to throw that in there, and now we're working on our first bag of fertilizer, or fertilizer. We're going to go ahead and toss that into one of these here. See if we can't speed up the process. Now, to turn these into red exotics, you need to process this here, this volatile raw exotic. It needs to be processed so that we can turn it into red exotics. And to do so, I think we're going to need tier 2, the tier 2 workbench. Hold, please. All right, so yes, this is what we're looking for. It's actually tier 3. It's the biofuel bio cleaner. But hopefully by the time we get there, we'll be able to make stable exotics here. By the time we get there, we should be able to. We should hopefully have a collection of plants going. So I'm going to go ahead and for now, I'm going to go put our first 6 volatile exotics in here. Oh, yeah, I forgot I've got this module. We're going to go ahead and stick that on. And that's giving me the, as you see there, health regeneration in caves, 50% chance to resist cave sickness, which will probably render you almost immune to it because it's already only a chance. You know, it's a random roll, and adding a 50% chance to resist just kind of makes it pretty rare that you're going to get it after that. Still happens, but it's pretty rare. So we are going to need. I need a window in here. When you're taking these in the talent tree, if you are looking for why can't I make a window, it's because you need the trim set here, and you'll see that that's got the wood window. The wood ladder is actually in there too, and all that. So you do need to take this if you want that. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and, at least so I have water for the animals, I'm going to go ahead and build a rain catcher. Oh, charcoal, stone. All right, so I'm going to grab some charcoal, and we're going to grab some stone, and then we're going to be able to use that to Get some water for the animals here. There's some stone. And let me get a torch going here so you guys aren't sitting around in the dark. There's sulfur right behind me, but I'm being lazy at the moment. All right, there's some stone. Now, we got there we go, basic rainwater purifier. And these are really quite decent for early on like this. I'm going to deploy this right over by our makeshift camp. And what did I say for? Oh yeah, for the ranching station I was going to need, besides rope, I'm going to need some iron nails, and that means I need to get enough iron to be able to do all the stuff I need. So we're going to head down to the cave and get some iron. Oh, that was a very painful fall right there, and it resulted in a broken leg. These ladders are really tricky, so I really need to be done with that as soon as I can. For now, need to craft a splint. I don't want to get caught off guard by this other one. I don't know if I would run into him or not, since there's iron right by the entrance there. Carrying around some ramps when you're in caves can be helpful. I'm just not bothering with that right now because I really don't need that much iron. I think I'll need 80 ingots. I'm well over, plus enough to make those iron nails. So I think I'm just going to grab these couple more here, and then we'll have enough iron for a while. Well, as long as we're down here, grab another copper. As long as we got the weight to carry it. Okay. You don't always have to be able to see. As long as you can see their health bar and you kind of aim in the center underneath it, a lot of times you target. All right. In here to the smelter, we're going to go ahead and drop all that in and let that get going. Oh yeah, I forgot to put down my bed in case we die. Go. And we're going to hold the set spawn point. I forget to do that on a regular basis. And then we can go ahead and sleep. No, can't sleep through the night. But the campfire was gone. Alright. Must have burned out. Here. There we go. It is close enough, by the way. It's just, I just ran out of coal. Alright. We should be able to sleep. There we go. Hello, daytime. And look at these things grow, huh? See the crop growth progress. These things here resist up to tier 5 storms, so these are pretty good for this situation. We're going to be outside. We do get higher than tier 5 storms in Prometheus, so we're going to want these covered before too long. And plants don't need light to grow. It helps them grow, but it's not a necessity. What is that other? I don't know that symbol. The one that looks like a mountain there. Let's see. Let's do inspect. Grasslands biome unsuitability. Crop is not suitable for the grasslands biome. A large portion of the harvest will be spoiled. Build a greenhouse to remove this penalty. Okay, well, it looks like we're going to have to do that sooner rather than later. So I'm going to go ahead and build a wooden one, which is not going to help it a great deal. But we're going to do what we have to do, right? All right, so we got the box built around it. We got a door on it. We are still grasslands biome unsuitability. So a large portion of the harvest will be spoiled. Build a greenhouse to remove penalty. All right, well, we've done the best we can as far as the greenhouse thing goes right now because we don't have the materials to make the reinforced glass. We need to make a good one. That's growth speed. This looks like it's only growth speed. I don't see anything about spoiled in the list, and that could be because I have something in my set, that my skill set that's taking care of it. Quality is still 100% on these. So, all right, we can see the progress there. We got a ways to go, so we're not going to worry about these. I'm just going to leave this on here because it's slowing them down, but it is also protecting them. I don't know about that one. I don't know how protected that one is. Let's go ahead and I'm just going to do a overhang over the top of it. There we go. Now we got a little lean-to over the top. But it's something. It's better than nothing. There's our little not greenhouse. Not watered. Nothing like that. But I do have what I've got from skills here. We've got increased crop growth speed. We've got fertilized. And we've got evergreen. Planted crops will not wither. Those are from skills. Total crop growth speed is 55%, so it's not the best it could be. Got optional electricity and water for these crop plots that you bring down. All right, so we're in here. We're going to grab our ingots. I'm going to go ahead and drop all of those into the table here. Let's sort it out. And then we're going to need an anvil. I can never find the anvil. I don't know if it just looks weird and doesn't pop out. Can't see it. It's an ominous amount of health I have there. All right. There we go. Grab it out of there. I'm going to go ahead and stick that. Now, yeah, it's getting tight in here, but I would really hold on to before I build anything permanent for a little while longer yet. I'm going to need some of that iron. Some of this. And drop it into here. Now, we've got options for all kinds of things in here, and if you were new, you would need that stuff, but what I really need here is nails. Plenty of nails. I'm going to get to 100 nails, and I'm going to stop this. There we go. Go ahead and do one of these. Oh, let's clear the queue. There we go. Right. We can water our plants. We grab our nails and a rope, right? Working on that ranching station. I like to keep some extra rope laying around too, so I'm going to craft 10, and we already had a few in there. Maybe I just need to craft a whole bunch more than that, but we'll get there. All right, there's our ranching station. That can be placed outside, so that's what we'll do. Oop, did see something I would like. Go ahead and craft a lightning rod. One should be good enough. These two buildings, I think, are close enough together that it shouldn't matter. And if you are concerned, now, I know I hear people saying all the time like that height doesn't matter, and some people say height does matter. I like to err on the side of caution. So we're going to go ahead and... Oh, I forgot I already had this bowl sitting here. So we're going to just go ahead and shorten this just a little bit. I used to have longer range on that stuff. But anyway, there we go. We're going to shorten it up a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and deploy this on top. We can get it. Snap. Maybe if we get up here. There we go. Yeah, it's not centered, but it's good enough. So now we have our lightning rod up on top of our hole there, and we'll hopefully protect both of these structures. And it should be fairly easy to repair in that spot, speaking of which I should have a repair hammer before things go sideways. Get one of those going on. I like the workstation one, and I will, or the workshop one, and I will probably end up bringing one of those down. But for now, I don't have one, so we're going to stick with what we got. Okay, now this crop plot does not need to be down here even. It doesn't have anything planted in it. We're going to drop that over here. And we're going to go ahead and set up the ranching station. Now we can do things like food trough and water trough. Now this is what we want, is the electronic food trough, but we're a little ways off of that considering platinum weave, carbon fiber, titanium plate. Electronics won't take us that long, and plus we're going to need electricity for it. So we're a ways off of that. We're just going to go ahead and... Which one did I make? Food trough? Okay, so we need the water trough. There we go. Grab those. And we're going to put those down for the animals. So, boy. There we go. So, for food, back to the ranching station here. I think we can make a generic food from seeds. Survival animal feed. I thought that was just a regular. It's been a while. My base game. There we go. Seed animal feed. My base game just has tons of electronic food stuff. So I just pump everything into their berries and trash and everything else, and it comes out as animal feed. All right. Do we have any wheat up in here? Because if we have any wheat up in here, that would make it a little bit easier. Kind of doubting it, but if we have to just grow tomatoes for them, that's what we'll do. All right, there we go. We got some tomatoes to work with. We got some seeds. Unfortunately, we don't have the wheat to turn the seeds into a regular animal feed, but they will eat just regular vegetables. They'll be fine. They'll eat meat. All right, I've harvested a bunch of tomatoes. A couple more carrots here. So that gives me a pretty good supply of vegetable food for them. It does rot pretty quick, so I'll probably have to preserve the tomatoes. I think they'll eat the preserved tomatoes out of there. You know, I'm not entirely sure, but find out. We'll grab that silicone. Okay. I'm going to need that. Making a mortar and pestle. Make a couple of them, actually. Not only are they great for storing your materials for that, I mean, people use them as storage, which I think is a little bit cheesy. I don't use them as storage, but you can use the mortar and pestle as storage. They have a pretty large storage amount for their size, so people use them for that. Okay, so what we want to do is we just want to get a couple of these going here. 2. Go. Wish you could deploy right from the table. That would be easier. I'm going to grab these. And we're going to deploy them right on top of the workbench here. There we go. Now you'll see what I mean by storage. This is how much storage you get out of a mortar and pestle, and you can just stack them on top of surfaces. So they're kind of powerful that way. Now we're going to look and see what we got for stuff. And, you know, we can do epoxy, both from tree sap and sulfur, and we can do it from bone. We can do crushed bone in here. We got all kinds of options. Now we're going to go ahead and let's see, there's something I want to ditch in here. Of course, our torch ran out. And we're aiming for the machining bench here. Now we can make the epoxy. We can easily make the iron nails. You know what? Let's do this here. Let's go ahead and clear this wall. Boy. Put a window. Now, put this in here. And voila. We've got light. Not a lot, but we got some light now. And we've also got the protection of the window piece in there. Now, I think I am going to put up a torch. And we're going to exercise maximum. I need a sulfur. We're going to exercise maximum torch safety here. I'm going to give you an idea how that works. I thought I saw there's some sulfur here somewhere. I know I saw it. There it is. All right, so I'm going to grab some sulfur. We're making torches. Now, to keep light on the side of here, now the best thing would do would be to raise this ceiling. Flat ceilings are not great to work with torches because if your torch is too close to the ceiling, it will set it on fire. So I'd have to keep my torch down really low here. But that's just what we're going to do for now because that's fine. So, but I would recommend, let me try this over here. So, torch safety. One of the important things to know is that a torch can set the ceiling on fire. What we're going to, if I have it up like this, it's going to set the ceiling on fire. Take it down low, take it about halfway down, keep it in the middle of the wall. That should be perfectly safe. Then we're going to go ahead and fill this sucker up with, it'll take a lot of different things. And I think, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and want to hold shift to split it a few times. I drop that in there. There we go. Sort. This is fine. Up here, not fine. Unless you had a high ceiling, and that's why I say if you had a ceiling that where the ramp was facing this way, and you had corner pieces up here, you could put that torch right in the middle and towards the top, and you would have plenty of space above it. And that's usually what I recommend. But here we are. We've got light when we're inside, and you guys don't have to worry about it being dark, and I don't have to worry about having a torch on all the time. So these will burn a long time off of one piece of fuel. You see it's still on the first piece of wood. Yeah. All right, so we are focusing on the machining bench, right? We want to upgrade to the machining bench. So we're going to need, we need plenty of iron. Well, we've got some left in here, so we've got iron there, but we're also going to need nails. We're going to need 120 nails, and then the rest of that we can focus on. So let's take a look at what we need for nails. All right, so we need 120 nails. We have 50 right now, so we're going to need another 70. All right, so we're going to crank out those nails. And while we're doing that, back here, take a look at what we, oh, meant to grab this, I grabbed that. Yeah, just got to make sure you get your aim correct. All right, so machining bench, we're going to get the nails going, and we're going to be 4 short on the ingots, maybe. We'll see how many we use here. Oh, no, we're not going to be short. Let me grab this, come here, not there, come here. Drop this stuff in here. I'm going to look, and now we can see that the only things we need are the epoxy and the rope. We're going to go ahead and make some rope. I need to go out in fiber. We're going to get, always needing the fiber. Yeah, especially since we're not going to have the rope. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get that, and we're going to get, oh, let's see. We can make tree sap from sticks. We can make it from wood. You have wood. But if we're going to do this one here with the sulfur, we're going to need a bunch of tree sap. So let's see here. We go axe, and so we're going to need wood and fiber. Over to our dwindling forest here. I'm going to need a quick way to get up and down from this plateau. All right. I got a 700 and some fiber pretty quick. Get some wood. Okay, down a tree, got some wood. It has not rained in a while. We do have a storm coming up, so I'm hoping that's going to give us some rain. It looks like I'll probably have to do some repairs. So I lost my mic temporarily. So what I was going to say is, because I do have a tier 3 storm coming in. You can see in the upper right-hand corner there. I know there's confusion over what is what tier, what symbol represents what tier. So these are the correct ones here. And so I've got a tier 3 store coming in, so I'm going to have to make sure that I'm prepared for that. But we want to get to stone as soon as possible. And that's going to require the masonry bench. I could be making the masonry bench instead of trying to go to the next tier. And you know what? I should do that, and that's probably going to be a good video. Anyway, let's do this because it needs to be done. I'm getting ahead of myself. That's okay. We can tier up next video. We're going to tier up the tier 2. And if we're lucky, we can just kind of do this in 4 videos, be to tier 4, maybe 5. With and that's how fast you can move once you're a more experienced player. You've got, or a more experienced character, I should say. Okay, so I've got our masonry bench, and unfortunately it's not going to, I don't think it's going to fit in here anywhere. Because it is a fairly large structure. Oh, wait. Boom. Yep. It's ridiculous, but yeah, I mean, we're doing what we got to do at the moment, you know what I mean? All right, so we're going to come in here, and we're going to see what we need for stone walls. And there is scoria since we're in here, but I don't think it makes much difference. We're just going to need iron. We're going to need iron nails. We're going to need a lot of stone, a lot of wood. So we're going to go ahead and take a look what we got in here. Do I have any ingots left? Oh, I do. I have 20 ingots left in here. It's good. We're going to turn that into nails. We need a lot of stone, and we have lots of wood. That's pretty much going to clear it. Okay, we're going to convert this to stone, and I think that's about as far as we're going to get for today. All right, drop our stone in here, and there we go. We can make quite a bit now. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can't get all. We're going to need 4 pieces of roof. We don't have to worry about the interior. That's going to be fine. But we're not going to bother with that right now. And generally, beams are not affected either. I'll leave those fine. If we go up higher, we'll worry about it. Can do stone frame. Oh, frame. This is the stone foundation. So we're going to do stone foundations before we start on our final build. This is just, really temporary. There we go. 6 and 2. And now, when you go to, you don't have to rebuild something when you do this. What you want to do is just put on your repair hammer, hold R, select what you want to switch, what you want to upgrade to, stone, and you're just going to right click. Now these wood beams will hold this stone, but not too tall. So this is going to be fine. But don't try to go another level with this. I don't even know if you can do a roof. But the structural integrity of what you're using to hold it up, and in this case it's all supported off those 4 beams, is going to make a difference. When it makes a difference is kind of hard to predict sometimes. But if I was just on the ground, I don't know if it'd be enough. So anyway, I haven't tested every situation and every structural situation. So I do know that this was going to be fine. But I don't think I would go even another level higher than this. So the plan is going to be next time, we're going to start a new stone base. We're going to start it out this way. We'll move these items out a little bit. And we're going to start a new stone base with the front of it being over here. And then we're going to move this stuff from here into the new stone base with a foundation. And then start building towards the cliff here because I really want to be built right on the edge of the cliff for the view. I mean, plus we'll have want to do a staircase leading down. So, all right, so I think I want to do, now that this is done, I'm going to upgrade this to stone quick, and that way our plants are protected. Those are the main reason we are here after all. All right, don't eat all the food right away. Oh, eat all. All right, I was going to save some of these for myself, but I'm going to throw some in dirt. You guys finished growing? Yeah, they are finished growing. They are ready for harvest, so we're going to do that in a minute here. Do that. All right. Again, very temporary. All right, let's do our first harvest before we call this video closed for the day. Got that. So the plant is still there. So apparently we do get at least another growth out of it. We did only get volatile raw exotics. We did not get seeds. So We're only gonna, these are only gonna last for so long, and then once they're dead, I think you get two. Yeah, currently the best option. Okay, so I think you only get 2 of these before they die off. Plant fatigue. Yeah, minus 100% planted crop growth speed, minus 50% planted crop yield. So the yield is fallen, and the speed is cut down. It's total crop growth speed of 0 at the moment. I don't know if there's anything I can do to speed that up, or if this is just the end of the plant. Maybe you only get 1 harvest. But I'll have to see if something I can add in will bring that up. I don't think so. I think that's just... Anyway, we're going to leave those for now, just because I don't know for sure, and we'll figure it out. Anyway, so that was today. We ended up with a grand total of... Wait, what do we... Oh, this... we can't combine these because one is grown and one's not, but we ended up with 6 volatile raw exotics today. So that's something. And we'll just have to keep working towards that tier 3 where we can get to that first cleanser. And as you can see, we're almost ready to hit tier 2. I had almost everything I needed, and then I decided I needed that for going stone. So sometimes you got to play the long game. All right, guys, I think we're going to call it there. We ended up with 12 of the volatile exotics. Those still need to be cleaned, and we'll worry about that after we've gained a couple more levels or a couple more tiers. For now, we're just going to save those up, and we're going to continue to go over there, and we're going to harvest those strange plants. But we're going to go ahead and look for other places to grab those as well. So join me next time for the storm that's coming in, as well as going ahead to tier 2 and hopefully finding some more of these plants, so we can continue on doing that while we build up towards the point where we'll be able to do the red exotics on the large nodes. So thanks for watching, everybody, and special thanks to my channel members and all my subscribers and everybody else that's support me for the last couple of years here. Really appreciate you. Until next time, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Benny out.